Hey guys, welcome back to another video where we look at all the tips and tricks and all that junk that you need to escape that low elo hell that everyone despises. If you watched my last video, this one looks like a complete duplicate for the first 60 seconds. That's because I typically stand right about this spot every time I play blue side, and I'm playing Yorick again. But this time I'm playing into that pesky top laner that no one likes, except for the people that play him a lot, and that's Kled. And so we got to jump right into this because something happens pretty quick, and I want you guys to be able to see it. So in an effort to stay safe, I'm trying to push my wave and get my wave shoved under turret so that the wave state will then push back to me. What I didn't pay attention to, or what I didn't count on, was an early gank from the enemy Vi. And to be fair, I'm not quite sure why I didn't think this through a little more. I did happen to know she was on her top side, and so I should have been a little more careful and at least warded so I could have seen her coming and I would have backed up sooner. But I didn't. And so I would love to tell you that the rest of the lane goes smoothly after that mistake, but it does not. And so I TP back to lane, and again, I'm just trying to shove my wave in, but this Kled is doing a good job of being pesky enough to not let the wave crash, and so I can't quite kill him. And I'm not going to push for that because really I'm only focused on the wave state here. Really good teleport by the Kled there, in my opinion. Gets back, he stops me from pushing the wave in. And at this point I should have let the wave push back to me. But again, I kind of zoned in and I had this one-track mind. So keep in mind that sometimes if you're banging your head into the wall and trying to do the same thing over and over again and it's not working, we try to do something else, and in this case I wasn't doing that. The ramifications will be seen, I should say, in just a little bit. But eventually I kind of wise up a little bit and I let the wave push back to me, and I'm trying to get a freeze here and I don't really pull it off. I don't remember exactly what happened, but I messed it up and I raised my ghouls before I meant to, and so that made it all bad. Now I've got this big wave stacked. And so my thought is that I really got to get it shoved in. And you would think that I'd really have learned my lesson from that first gank from the Vi, but I didn't. Not at all. I hadn't laid a single ward down yet. And so I get ganked again and I'm dead. And this is really, really bad. Now this does a few things that are really working against me. One, it allows the Kled to kind of freeze the wave. So I missed a bunch of minions because my wave was pushing into his, and so my wave killed all of his minions, and so I couldn't kill them. But on the flip side, the Kled makes a really, really big critical error, and he does not push his wave all the way under the turret. Instead, he chooses to back, and this allows me to set up a freeze of my own. And it's through this freeze that I will get myself back into this game. And that's right, you can start as terribly as I started and still win your lane and still win the game. And we're going to see how you do that. So if you have those games where you're down 2 kills within 10 minutes and it all goes sideways, know that you can still get back into the game. Now, the Kled makes another mistake, and he goes to help out with the Scuttle Crab. And while that sounds great, in the meantime, he's missing lots. And I'm starting to eke out a level lead on him. And I'm thinking I can fight him here, and I send my ghouls after him, but then I realized I didn't know where the Vi was. And so I started to back up, and as soon as I started to back up, she popped up on my minimap. So fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, that's really, really bad for me. But the third time it didn't happen. Now, if I had played that better, I probably could have killed the Vi, but I didn't. I didn't have my ghouls going the right way. And so, again, I'm trying to figure out how to extend my lead in this lane, and the Kled pushes the wave but then backs, and so he allows me to set up another freeze. And so, hooray for small victories. I know this doesn't look exciting, and it's not like a kill and all that exciting stuff, but this is a really legitimate strategy and a way to win your lane. Every time that the Kled misses one of my minions, he's getting weaker. He's allowing me to get stronger while he's staying the same. And so now when he comes back and tries to fight me, even though I've died twice, he can't. He can barely put a dent in my armor. And so that allows me to do things like take turret plates and fight him under his tower. And I choose not to dive him there because what I'm trying to do is time my back so that I can make purchases and get right back out into the lane. Now, because of the timing of things, this is only effective because of one thing. and that's that Kled decided to leave me alone in the top lane. I was hoping that at a minimum I would make him burn his TP and he would have to come up to the top to respond to me. Instead, he goes to the mid lane and he takes up a skirmish there. Now, he does get an assist, but he misses a lot. And he allows me to knock down that first turret. So I got a bunch of turret plates, I got first turret gold, and I got all my minion XP. Now I have a gold lead, and it's about to pay off because I'm sitting on a full item and he's not. And so when I get back to lane, I'm trying to initiate a fight with him. He doesn't have a tier 1 turret to go back to be safe, and so I'm trying to press my advantage here. He's already really low, and so you'll see I'm able to prevent him from backing up too far, and I'm able to go ahead and knock him down. He does get Scarl back, but that just delays the inevitable, and you can see it's a nice win. So here it was, I was 0-2 and way behind in lane, and now the Kled can't really 1v1 me, and I'm only growing my lead. I walk into the enemy jungle just to see if I can see the jungler anywhere. He doesn't show, and so I take his Krugs. Remember, anytime you can take the enemy Krugs, you are denying the enemy jungler a lot of XP. It's one of their highest XP camps. I see Kled in the top lane and he's all by himself, and so I know he's going to die. I can kill him 1v1, but I don't even have to do that. My teammates are on their way, and so after we kill the Kled, we drop the Herald and we're going to pick up a lot here. We get the tier 2 turret and we get a second charge off on the top lane tier 3 turret. This is going to make things easier for me when I come back to try to take that turret in a few minutes. We enter the enemy jungle. We're just trying to see if we can make any picks. A skirmish breaks out and we do get a kill, and the rest of the enemy team is low. They have to back up, and I decide to take a reset and spend my gold. After getting even stronger by purchasing new items, I head back out to the Rift, and I'm taking my services to the bot lane. The bot lane is being ignored, and I know with the help of my ADC, we can push down at least 1, if not 2 turrets. We easily take the tier 1 turret, and then we push for the tier 2. There's a little bit of resistance here from the enemy team, but I wasn't really reading my minimap well, and so I got a little aggressive and I paid the price. I got caught out, and I'm dead. That's okay. My teammates do a really smart thing and they push the mid wave, and so we're in good shape. On respawn, I'm looking for a place where I can take my services on the map to get more objectives. And I realize that the top lane is now being ignored by the enemy team. Remember, this is the top lane that's got a half health tier 3 turret. So I head up that way, but I draw a lot of attention. This is good. This is pulling the enemy team all around the map, and it's leaving my teammates to their own devices. The enemy team can't kill me, and when the MF leaves, I realize I can kill the Kled. So does the Kled, and he backs up. My Senna joins me up here, and it's going to be easy to take this top turret. I take a couple turret shots that I probably didn't need to take. That's okay. We easily get the turret, and since the turret's gone, Kled has nowhere to run. He's going down next. His teammates arrive to try to help him, but there's really nothing they can do. That's another objective down, and they didn't even get anything in return for it. When the enemy Krugs respawn right in front of me, I decide to take those. Remember, I want to continue to deny the XP to the enemy jungler. And then I start looking for a play, and Kled is again in the top lane, and I know I can kill him if he stays, but he doesn't. And so I just back up, and I decide to grab a reset. Now pay attention closely to what happens next. This is something that you'll see in low elo games fairly frequently. My team has all 5 members in the mid lane. The enemy Kled is split pushing top. I actually really like this decision from the enemy Kled. The correct response for his team is to group as 4 in the mid lane and just clear our waves. They really just want to buy Kled as much time as possible to get work done in that top lane. But they don't do that. The Vi splits bottom and pushes out a wave, and they don't really effectively clear our minions out. So we're able to take this tier 3 turret. And while the Kled does get 2 turrets in that top lane, I don't know that it was worth him giving up an inhibitor in turn. That's not really on the Kled. I think the Kled made the right decision, and if his team had just properly cleared the waves, they would have bought him time, and then he could have backed and prevented us from taking that inhibitor. Props to Kled for a good idea, but it didn't really pan out. Next, I take my services to the bot wave, and I'm trying to get more objectives. You can see the Vi is trying to fight me here, and she's got a lot of reserves that show up to help her. If I had better placed my wall here, I would have survived this, but I didn't, and so I die. But the good news is they sent a lot of resources to come get me, and so that buys my teammates time to push out some waves and get their own resets. My team decides to set up around Dragon, and while I don't think this is a bad call, I don't think it's a great one either. We've already got 3 dragons and the enemy team only has 1. We don't need to fight for this. But what we could do to make it really difficult for them is send someone up to the top lane to push that and threaten the top inhibitor. If they don't respond to that, we get an inhibitor. If they do respond to it, it increases our chances of taking that dragon. In short, we lost the dragon, but I was able to get to the top lane and knock down this inhibitor. When no one from the enemy team responds to me, I try to end the game. Now, if my teammates had recognized this a little bit sooner, they could have stopped all the enemy backs, but they weren't able to do that. And so the Vi is able to get back, and I have a bit of a misplay here. Again, if I land my wall a little bit better, that would buy me more time to finish the game. Still not sure if I could have done it, but it would have been really close. Anyway, I get knocked down, but this game is as good as over. My team realizes their advantage, they're pushing the waves in, and on respawn, I'm going to get right back to this Nexus and we're going to knock it down. This is a prime example how focusing on objectives can really put the pressure on the enemy team. If you look at the scoreboard, we're down in kills, but we have this game completely in hand because we have relentlessly focused objectives and not worried about chasing down kills. So I respawn, push in the bot wave. I'm trying to get that last inhibitor. It always makes me feel more comfortable to have all 3 inhibitors down. But the middle inhibitor respawns, and so we go to knock that down. A skirmish breaks out, and my Nico and my Kazakhs go ham, and they absolutely delete the enemy team. And it's over. It's an ace, the Nexus is gone, and we win the game. I hope you like this video, but really what I hope is that it demonstrated to you that even when you're behind, just using simple wave management can get you right back into this game. I may have died twice early on, but at the end of the day, I'm the one with the victory. So, if you found any of this helpful, please consider subscribing. It would help me so much. Also, click a like and maybe share this video with your friends. I have seen tons of games out there, and I know a lot more people need to see this info. Thanks, we'll see you next time.